Alright, so now we deal with the unformed you. As I said in my previous videos, you are part formed, that is your body, and part unformed, that is your mind or consciousness. That is the unformed self. Yeah, the formed self is the body and is composed of DNA. Every cell in your structure is composed of a DNA. If we just take one segment of DNA, call it a gene, you will find that the contributors to that gene are your ancestors. You could find that you share a gene with ancestor at level 1, a parent or something, then an ancestor at level 2, an ancestor at level 3, grandparent, great, great, yeah, and the ancestor at infinity, that is God. Our most prehistoric, almost ancient ancestor is God. Sorry, the creator. Yeah. Now, what the unformed you is a resonance. Resonance is a force that has no form. Those of you who study resonance, you know that if you pluck a string and you tie it to a rod with other strings of different lengths, the string with the same length as the driver string will increase its amplitude as you excite the driver string. Yeah. Now, it means that all these strings have different natural frequencies. So they are identifiable by their individual resonances or frequencies. So your ancestor at level 1 might have contributed a small amount, and this one might have contributed a larger amount, this one a small. They will have different frequencies, yeah, relative to the whole structure. Yeah. And it's like an instrument, it's like a guitar. If you're playing all the strings at the same time, the sound that comes out, yeah, will sound like a composite sound. That is what the unformed you is. So if you have an ancestor at level 2 who had schizophrenia and his contribution DNA forms part of your gene, and this gene is in your DNA structure that forms part of your neurons. Every neuron will have this contributor DNA. So you'll be slightly schizophrenic. And whenever you have those schizophrenic thoughts, you're resonating with your ancestor at that level, the one that had that schizophrenia. So you find different characteristics, personality traits that resemble your ancestors. Some people are like their grandparents, some people are like their great-great-grandparents, because these resonate through the neurons via your DNA in those neurons, which is from your ancestors. Now remember, my theory is that the past, the present, and the future exist at the same time. The reason I say this is because that's the only way I can explain how the Big Bang came to be. And the way I explain how the Big Bang came to be, or whatever started the universe, is that the possibility of there being a bang, yeah, that creates all the universal constants we have to be in that exact amount or exact magnitude, is is so small that you have to say that it's 1 in a trillion chance of there being a bang that forms the laws of nature to be that exact. Yeah. However, those of you who are gamblers, those who are into probability theory, will tell you about quantum mechanics. Every possibility is possible, yeah, as long as you do something for an infinite amount of time. Now, which means that at the beginning of the universe, yeah, all of time until the end of the universe exists at the same time. Yeah? All of time exists at the same time. Yeah? All the possible permutations and combinations, yeah, that could form a universe happen at the same time. Yeah? Like picking a card from on top of a deck of cards. All the possible cards exist at the first attempt at the same time. Yeah? And when you pick that card, let's say you pick the 3 of hearts, yeah? It's a 1 in 52 chance of picking the 3 of hearts. Let's say you say to yourself, I'm going to pick the 3 of hearts at the first attempt. The possibility of you getting that right is 1 in 52. But if you get it at the first attempt, yeah, is that odd? So the different tries to create a universe a trillion times existed at the same time when our universe was created. So the chances of getting this universe were 1 in a trillion times, but it happened the first time with respect to us. It happened the first time. It could have happened the trillionth time. Just because it's 1 in a 52 chance of you getting a 3 of hearts doesn't mean that you get it on the 52nd card. It could happen at the first time. So it happened at the first time. Yeah? So whatever you do today, yeah, affected your ancestors, and whatever they did then affects you now. It's very hard to explain. Yeah? Sometimes you sense your ancestors coming through. That's because maybe a segment of your DNA that's from that ancestor is starting to resonate higher for some reason. And the note you're playing, which is your consciousness, starts to resonate more with that ancestor. Yeah? With that part of their DNA in the past. Yeah? The Almighty knows this. When he introduced himself to Jacob, he said, I am the Lord of your father, Isaac, of his father, Abraham. So he reminds him, yeah, and then Jacob said, okay, I get it. So then, otherwise he would have gone on and I said, I am your original ancestor, ancestor infinity. Yeah, that's how the Lord introduces himself. All these notes are playing, but there is one note from the original ancestor, the Lord, that also forms part of your unformed conscious mind. I hope I didn't confuse you too much with how I explained the Big Bang, but this is how I see the world and how we fit into it. Yeah? What you do now affects the past and the future. What happened in the past affects you now. Yeah? And it also affected the past to them as well. Yeah? So your culture is very, very important to you. Even the Almighty will tell you that when he introduces himself to you and reminds you that he's ancestor infinity. Yeah? So at the beginning, it was like a deck of cards, and we picked out the first card and we came up with this universe. Yeah? When the bang happened, yeah, the chances of getting a perfect bang were 1 in a trillion, but when it happened, we got it the first time. Just like when you say the chance of you getting a 3 of hearts, the first attempt, yeah, is 1 in 52, but when you get it, it could also happen on the first attempt. It just happens, luckily for us, that this universe was perfect on the first attempt. Thank you.